Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Rise and Elevate episode 7. I am Devin Pinches, joined by my co-host, Tom Fox. And
Good morning.
Good morning, Tom. As we near the end of 2024, right, and look ahead to the opportunities and challenges of 2025, I just want to take a moment to express my gratitude, right? This podcast has given us the incredible privilege of welcoming some truly remarkable guests, people who have shared their stories of triumphs and setbacks, offering valuable insights into navigating their industries. And, one thing I've noticed as a recurring theme from our guests is resilience, right? No matter the obstacles, they've demonstrated that brighter days are always ahead if you stay the course. It's inspiring and one of the reasons that I love doing this. So with that said, Tom, why don't you share a bit about what Rise and Elevate is all about before we dive into today's episode?
So Devin, thank you. And as we finish this chapter 2024, we started this journey together. And we started by challenging one another to rise above what we already did, what we already knew. And we were both kind of putting our toe into the water. And we decided that there was no more toe in the water. We were jumping right in. We wanted to go live. We wanted to share this message of hope. We wanted to share what other people have gone through so that we can share this message of next level, so that we can talk about what the failures or setbacks, as some like to say, were, and how we can help others rise above where they are. And we wanted to elevate our game. We wanted to share this message with everyone else. So I thank you, Devin, for accepting this challenge that I threw your way. And so far, it's been a wonderful ride, a roller coaster of emotions with the people that we've had as our guests. And we focused on real estate, but we're expanding into other areas. And our last guest was someone that provided that message of hope coming from the streets of the Bronx and creating this world, encompassing theory of more and being able to do what you set your mind to. So as we start Rise and Elevate episode number 7, we have the pleasure of introducing a guest who represents the power that each of us has, but more specifically, the power that women possess and helping them all rise together. So without further ado, Devin, if you would, introduce and share a little bit about our next guest.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom. So today's guest is a realtor, a coach, and a motivational speaker with over 22 years of real estate expertise. As the founder of Beyond Inner Growth University and a leader at eXp Realty, she empowers women to achieve financial freedom, grow thriving businesses, and live with purpose and balance. A nationally recognized graduate, Realtor Institute designee, and a 2021 Realtor of the Year in Baltimore, her motto is dream big and let's get moving. It really embodies her passion for transformation and her vision of helping women create lives of success and fulfillment. So whether coaching agents, speaking on stage, or helping clients find their dream home, this individual brings energy, insight, and actionable advice that leaves a lasting impact. So get ready to be inspired and equipped with actionable insights as we welcome the incredible Nakia Evans to Rise and Elevate. Nakia, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am excited to be here and I am honored to be here as well.
We're so
Nakia,
happy.
thank you so much for joining us. Devin, as always, does a wonderful job of sharing some of the passion that our guests share for the direction that they're going in. And one of the things that I love that's something we can certainly talk about offline later is that journey to becoming a on-stage speaker and motivational, coach, because Devin and I have a plan to take not only our podcast that we're doing here online, but to do this on stage in front of others to help share that message of hope, and that positive attitude can change so many things that are a part of our lives. And you embody that, Nakia. And I want to just say thank you for all that you do to contribute to our industry and be a beacon of positivity, right?
Thank you.
So I'd love for you to share a little bit. And I know that everything that you've been through brings you to where you are today. But I'd like to hear a little bit about what got you into that motivational and leadership kind of mindset.
Well, I started volunteering at my board of realtors, and with that, I saw the Graduate Realtors Institute classes. It's a designation, and it's multiple classes. It's so many classes that in 1 year I had 86 continuing education credits. If that gives you an idea.
Yes.
Yes.
I decided to do it all at once. I'm adventurous like that. My business was slow, so I was like, let me fill this time. So I filled that time with some professional development, and
Yes.
little did I know it included personal development. So as I'm sitting in the room and I'm watching the instructors teach, I'm like, wow, maybe I could do this, right? Or, like, maybe I should do this, right?
Right.
And I didn't think of it really until this year. You know that question everybody asks you when you are a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? I
Yep.
always said teacher, right? And what happened is I threw it away because I did so many other things. I was like, forget about it, right?
Right.
And when people think about teacher, they only think about school and children. But what happened in 2015 when I got that designation and I sat in those classes, and then I started volunteering at my board, and then started volunteering to host classes in my office. It led me to know that you can also be a teacher to adults. You don't have to start with children. You can start with adults with licenses, adults with businesses, right? Adults who want to buy houses, because
Right.
real estate agents are actually teachers. We're teaching a client how to buy a house. So all of that was filling my brain, right? All of it was just filling my brain. And so I stayed after school one day and I talked to the instructor, Brenda Kasuva. Shout out to Brenda Kasuva. Um, I stayed and talked to her, and some kind of way, I never told her my story, never told her what I was thinking, never told her about when I wanted to grow up, I wanted to be a teacher. She said, you might make a great instructor. You should think about it. That was in 2015. By 2016, who was standing in front of the room hosting workshops, mentoring agents, like who was giving agents hope, agents who
Right.
were struggling in business. That was my power. I could give agents who thought they couldn't do it the power to believe that they could do it. And that's how it just started. I started mentoring new agents. So it really was giving them hope, motivating them to keep going, giving them the resources they needed so that they would strive for success that they thought that they couldn't have. Also, clients. I started doing the workshops. I started giving people the information that they needed to buy a new home. And my clients were the ones, my demographic were the people who thought they could not buy houses. And
Right.
that's how I started. It started from there.
What a story, Nakia. So, you went into mentoring agents and building up their level of confidence to strive for more and to find success, both professionally and personally. So, I would love to touch on the fact that you built Beyond Inner Growth University. So, did that
Yes.
inspiration come because of your mentoring and what you could provide for agents? Like, could you go a little bit more in depth about how you were able to get there?
Sure. So what happens is I struggle through. I'm the fail forward. I'm the struggle through. I'm the person that figures it out. I'm like,
Okay.
what do I not have, or what do we not have that someone else needs? So, Beyond in the Growth was the name of my unofficial team. I have a team of a network. I should call it, because team could get you into trouble in real estate. Okay. I have a network. The word team means something different in every state, right? So I have a network of real estate agents all over the world, right? And we came together and we built a group of mentors, agents, and new agents. I'll classify them that way. So Beyond in the Growth was just a group of agents that were helping each other. We were collaborating. We didn't have the financial gain from helping each other
Okay.
so much as the will to see each other win, right? So as we kept going and going, we were getting resources from our brokerage. We had resources from our brokerage, but what could set us up different, or what could
Right.
set us apart from just the brokerage? Because if you wanted to work with me at this brokerage, hey, I can go work with her at this brokerage, right?
Right.
So I needed something to set me apart. And because I've been mentoring and coaching and training agents, I was like, I want my own platform. So I studied, I figured, I researched, I checked some other people out. What are they using? And I
Right.
started using some of the same things that other successful coaches would use, other successful mentors would use. And that's where Beyond in the Growth University was born.
That's powerful, Nakia. To be able to help people see that next level, right? And
Yes.
as your motto, to dream big, right? You want to
Yes.
dream big and get moving, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that something that you shared with us that is a little bit of a setback for you personally, but also you recognize in others is that inner voice,
Mm.
right? And helping to shape what we say to ourselves because that matters so much. Share with me a little
Yes.
bit about how that's a setback, but how it's also provided a springboard for you to do more and help your clients and yourself go to a place where you didn't think you could before.
Yeah. So what happens with entrepreneurs? What happens with real estate agents? What happens with people who are new to something? We kind of get discouraged if we don't see results fast, right? Or seasoned entrepreneurs, seasoned agents, they get discouraged when the stats start going down, right? And then
Yeah.
we begin to tell ourselves stories. There's nobody out there judging us because nobody really knows our stats, right? I mean, you can see the sales on Zillow, you could see your bank account, right? But nobody else really does. So the story that we tell ourselves is the most distracting story ever.
So
And
true.
what I was noticing when I was coaching agents and talking to agents is that everything that they were saying was that they were discouraging themselves. Like when you get on the phone with me, or when you get on a call, I usually do Zoom calls. I like to see body language, right? I like to talk and see I like to see you when you talk, right?
Yep.
So when I was watching and when I was listening, I just heard discouragement, but the only discouragement was coming from them. So it's negative self talk. I learned about negative self talk a long time ago. I noticed that I was doing that too myself, right? And listen, we go back and forth with that. I don't care who you
Mhm.
are in the world. We go back and forth with that. I don't care how much money is in your bank account. I don't care what awards you have won. I don't care how big your team is. Everybody goes backwards and forwards with negative self-talk. So I wanted to help people with that. And with me, I found that positive self-talk, right? Manifestation, talking to myself in the mirror. I kind of saw some people who did that. I've studied them and how that affect them, or how their success was flowing, and how just their mindset shifted. So I started to study manifestation, and affirmations are important. Talking to yourself. I remember Mary J. Blige had a song said, "Good morning, gorgeous."
I
I should
love Mary
know.
J.
Yes.
Listen, I should know all the words to that song because my morning routine included to get out of that bed, grab my little cell phone, turn to that music app and play that song over and over and over. I'm sure my neighbors know that too, because I had the Amazon speaker, right? My neighbors probably
Yes.
know the song. Everybody knows the song, right? Because I play it like just loud in the bathroom, at the sink, in the shower, getting out the shower. But I had to get some positive positive influence into myself, instead of that negative, instead of that wondering, instead of that fear that comes out all the time. You have to actually talk yourself off the ledge, right? You can't wait for anybody else to talk you off the ledge, because a lot of times we don't even share our struggles. That's one thing too.
Sure.
We don't share our struggles. We don't find a partner, accountability partner, someone that's doing the same thing that we are doing, some of the sharing the same struggles as we are
Mhm.
sharing. We don't talk to that person, or we don't have anybody to talk to sometimes, so we have to develop a way of talking to ourselves. I always say I talk to myself because I'm my best friend, right? People laugh at me all the time, but that was very helpful. Those affirmations, telling myself what I wanted, telling myself to stop, giving myself directions sometimes. But when you're struggling, it's mostly because of you. So when you can stop the negative self-talk, you'll flow just a little bit smoother. That's what I noticed. That's one of the biggest struggles that we all have, is that negative self-talk.
So, Nakia, I love that whole concept of the power of positivity, right? And the
Yeah.
law of attraction, right? If
Yes.
we're positive, we're going to attract more of those positive people. If we're negative, we're going to find somebody that looks like Eeyore, that walks like Eeyore, that's going to be down with us, right? And I have friends and people that I know that are constantly thinking how things are going to not work out.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to use that power of imagery, right?
Yes.
Imagining what it's going to be like. And that's
Yep.
powerful. And I love that you're sharing that message, because you're helping to inspire people to be the best version of themselves. We all
Yeah.
have the opportunity to grow, right? To
Mhm.
rise. But this message that you're sharing it with realtors across your influence, but you're
Mhm.
also focusing on the women that you can support. Talk to me about the power that you give, or that you help people recognize in the women's community.
Yep. Well, so I kind of fell into the women, well, fell back into the women's community, right? I was a Girl Scout, then I was a Girl Scout leader.
Oh my
My
goodness.
first ever nonprofit was a organization that helped girls that were ages 15 to 18 start a new business in the network marketing area. Then I've
Right.
been through network marketing companies. They mostly have been beauty, so that attracts a lot of women. Then I go back to real estate, and it just seemed like women in real estate were drawn to me. And then one day I checked the stats on Instagram, and it was telling me that my demographic on Instagram was women between the ages of 24 to 65, right? Those were the
Wow.
ones
Okay.
that were engaging with me. And so it led me to think, okay, you better focus on women, right? You were trying to help the world, but you can't help the world. So you better focus on women. I was the Women's Council of Realtors president in the Greater Baltimore Network.
Woo!
And so just sitting and thinking that all of this time you've been learning to lead and help women to lead themselves and lead in business. So focus on that. So what happened, and with that, I feel like I have, or I can share my experience, or I have so many experiences, from being a teen mom all the way to the president of Women's Council, president of the local board, to building a team, to coaching, that all of my experiences, somehow, if I share them and I use them as examples, my setbacks, my failures, my struggles, my successes, if I use those experiences to help women understand that, hey, you can be here one day and here one day, or if I tell them what resources I used to pick myself up, or to get back on track, or to succeed, that I could focus. Because sometimes you could just be all over the place, right? So I decided that I would literally just focus on women. I thought that it would be I thought that it would be discriminatory to do that,
Mhm.
but I'm finding, and the more I talk to people, it's okay. It's okay to drill down. It's okay to focus. I didn't really understand that that was okay. You had fair housing and equity and equitable treatment, all of that stuff. But at the same time, you do have to focus. You have to drill down. You have to know who is your audience. And I share that a lot. In anytime I'm speaking to agencies, I ask them, who are you talking to? Like on social media,
Great
who are you
question.
talking to? In our podcast, who are we talking to? Because if we're all over the place, then nobody really wants to hear what we have to say. Nobody will take away something that we said today if we're just all over the place. So I drilled down because I had real life experience. I've been in every seat that a woman could be in, right? All the way from Girl Scouts to president of the board. So I felt like that experience or those experiences that I've had would help somebody. And who would it help? Somebody like me, somebody who wanted to do the same things that I've done, somebody that wanted to experience the same things that I wanted to experience. So that's how I had to reflect and just take a
Right.
look at who I'm helping. Who were my clients that were buying houses? They were mostly women. I had men sprinkled throughout, but through my whole entire career, I've been helping women. I had a beauty salon. I was helping women. Okay. So somewhere along the line, you have to take some of your other experiences and move them to where you are going, and it's helped me to focus, drill down, to concentrate, to just know what it is and where I want to go in business.
Nakia, what would you say to somebody that is inspired by you and wants to follow a similar path of, kicking butt in life in general, and then, doing so many different roles? What would you say to somebody, some advice that you think would really resonate with somebody to, become a successful individual personally and professionally?
Well, I'm the same all the way around the board. Number one is be coachable. I don't care what business you are in, what struggle. Like people's like, well, how do you think you can coach this person? You don't even do that. Coachability is key. Because if you can dream it, if you can think it, you can be it, right? So coachability, it's going to take some coaching no matter where you are. If you're in sports, you have a coach. If you're in business,
Right.
you have a coach. So being coachable is really important. Number two, out of everything I've ever told anybody, is to work on you. You have to be stronger than anything. You have to be stronger than the statistics of your business. You have to be stronger than the next person. You have to worry about you. You have to focus on you. If you are not okay, your business is not going to be okay. So focusing on you, your health, your mental health, okay, being focused on that will help you to be successful in all other areas of your life. And
Right.
number three, I tell people to be authentic, because if you walk into something pretending, if you get a job and you put something on your resume that said that was the wrong thing, if you lied on that resume and you go to the job and you got to make an Excel spreadsheet and you've never done that in your life, oh, how is that going to feel, right? You're
That's
going to be
hysterical.
struggling, so just be you, be honest with yourself of who you are. And like you said, the attraction, you want to attract people who like you. I don't want to have to pretend to be someone else in order for people to talk to me or in
Mhm.
order for people to want to work with me. So you need to be you. You need to tell people who you are before you get into a relationship, before you get into business with them. They need to know who you are, and they need to respect who you are before you can work with them or before you are able to build some type of relationship with them. So it's really coachability, your mental health, your physical health, and really authenticity, being yourself. Those three things will really take you anywhere you want to go. If you wake up tomorrow and you want to be something different or do something different, those three things will take you there. And then 2 weeks later, you decided something else you want to do. Those three things will help you get there as well.
I
Nakia,
can.
those messages and those three characteristics, right, are certainly something that everyone can utilize to dig deep, we say sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And there's a TED talk that talks about what is one of the most common denominators in successful people. And they use the word grit, right? That
Mm.
ability to be resilient, that ability to come out of life sometimes is a roller coaster, right? There's ups and downs. But do we get stuck in those lows? Or do we only think about those highs that we had, right? We can't operate in that space. We have to continue to be coachable. We have
Mm-hmm.
to mold into what we need to do. And that takes us into the whole modification or the market shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Realtors need to focus on what the market is doing now, right?
Yeah.
So as the Works platform supports realtors, and I know that you've been an advocate of that and have
Mm-hmm.
worked with Devin and her team
Yeah.
for that. And we use that to help coach our realtor partners and help them to motivate them and know that they have another arrow in their quiver, another tool to work with. So that grit and resilience that you're teaching your realtors that are watching or following you is really a powerful message. And I love
Yeah.
the fact that you feel like anybody can change their course or direction if
Mm-hmm.
you're willing to listen to feedback, right?
Yep.
Feedback's a gift. If you
Yep.
can use that feedback and those things that happen to us that are the setbacks or failures, as we
Mm-hmm.
sometimes call them, right,
Mm-hmm.
are only failures if we don't take a lesson from that. And I love how you're taking your lessons, whether it be
Yeah.
from a brownie or the Girl Scout or up through leadership roles, right? No matter where we are, that authenticity about letting our natural energies vibrate, right,
Yeah.
with the people that we're helping is something that everyone can look up to and do, because that's the inner voice and
Mm-hmm.
channeling it to helping you become who you can be.
Yeah.
I'm so encouraged when we hear those messages like you're sharing and the leadership position you take, right? So as you do that, how do you use that to help you recruit and grow from a realtor perspective and growing teams and brokerages? How do you find those people or use that message to grow?
Mm.
Well, really, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm watching. I am waiting for you to tell me what you need. I don't, in order to grow this business, to grow my network, I'm not a salesy person. Like, I don't want to sell you anything you don't need. However, I want to help problem solve with you, right? So I use problem solving skills to really build my network or to grow my business or to help agents grow their business. I want to just listen to what you have going on. I want to listen to who you are. I want to get to know you and find out what you need, what your struggles are. Because if I want to help, if I want to offer you, a whiteboard to draw on, you may not even like writing. You may like typing better. Or if I offer you a brand new iPad, you may not like tech, right? You
Right.
might want a digital plan, I mean a paper planner, right? Instead of having to use something digital. So people have to get to know people. I think that people should know what you need before they offer you something. There's nothing worse than walking into a car dealership, right? And they offer you the car that's on the sales floor. Wow, what if I don't even want that car or like that car? You
Mm.
should sit down with me. We should talk. Not even a consultation yet. We should really have a conversation, right? Before we even have the consultation. That's very important. We need to have a conversation. We need to get to know each other. Or I just need to know just a little bit about you. And I take that into building my network of agents, but I really started that with buyers and sellers. I had to sit down and have a conversation with them before I could tell them what service I provided, because I needed to know what they needed from me before
Mm,
I could offer them me. So I really believe that listening is more important than anything when you are trying to help somebody else, or when you are trying to encourage someone else. Just really getting to know them, listen to what they have going on first before you just spew anything on them.
Powerful. Nakia, I'll share with you something that I came up with 25 years ago when I first got into the mortgage business. And we were talking about the concept of listen. So I
Mhm.
wrote the word listen down and I came up with an acronym for listen. And it says, look into solutions that evaluate need.
Oh,
But if you listen, they will tell you what they need,
yes.
and then you help them backfill the solution. So your strategy is one that's powerful and time proven and really transcends whether it's gender or
Hmm.
nationality or
Hmm.
wherever someone has built their base. You can help
Yeah.
them grow. And I
Yeah.
love that growth mindset,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
powerful.
Before we come into close on the podcast, I want to ask you one question.
Mhm.
Going in to 2025, what is one of your goals that you're willing to share with us?
Okay. Well, I think,
Good
and I had to
question.
drill this down too, because listen, I'm all over the place. You should. I went to the dollar store and I bought these paper posters. You know the posters they sell for
Yeah.
like 50 cents at the dollar store. Got some magic markers, and I really had to write all of this out to see that, hey girl, hey, you're all over the place. Like, what is it that you really want? So this is a great question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really want to speak on stages. I want to speak on podcasts like this. I want to speak to people, encourage people, uh, teach people. I want to just talk to people from stage, from the screen,
Yeah.
people who I wouldn't ordinarily be able to reach all year long. Like if I didn't sell a house and I could replace the income from
Right.
speaking, that would be my dream goal in
Oh,
2025. So that's really what I'm trying to focus on, trying to stay the course, trying to
yeah.
narrow down, trying to keep encouraging myself that if I study, if I keep at it, if I do all of the things, that it will happen. So that is my 2025 wish list. And I wish I could eliminate everything else, but we know you got to take small steps. But that
Yeah.
is my ultimate goal for 2025. Speak on stages, speak on podcasts, and just help people that I wouldn't ordinarily reach to gain understanding of something, or look at something that I have to say at a different viewpoint.
Devin, I think she's setting us up for doing an on stage
Right.
learning and live feed for Rise and Elevate podcast and doing something together. Nakia, I'm now going to challenge you to do something out of the box with us later in 2025. Devin, we can only create what we can dream. So I'm going to dream big with you. And
Okay.
we're going to try and hold you accountable to your goals. And I want to say thank you so much for being a part of this with us today. Devin and I are so encouraged by your message. And when we read your bio and the successes and failures and setbacks that you've had, it's something that everyone faces, but your inner voice is powerful and positive and encouraging. And I thank you for all you're doing in the real estate community. And I want to share that with you and share with what we're all doing. And our goal is to make this podcast something that helps rise and elevate people's mindset and creates hope. So, with that, we like to end with a quote. And I'm going to share one today from Winston Churchill. And it says, success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That that's a
And that's
powerful,
it. Yeah, that's
perfect.
it. If we just do that, then we're gonna keep moving. And that's where my let's get moving comes into play. Just keep going. Just keep moving. move, never stop, never sit still, never stop is what I'm all about. And that's exactly what that quote tells us. Never ever stop. Let's just keep going, keep dreaming big, and
Yes.
it will happen. It's bound to happen. We can speak it right into existence.
Amen.
Nakia, thank you so much for joining Tom and I today on our podcast, Rise and Elevate, episode 7. Thank you for our viewers for watching us grow with our guests included. And we hope everybody has a wonderful week. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Nakia. We're
Thank
very
you, thank you,
grateful.
thank you. Yep, I am too. Thank you so much.